Does a person that never was a slave deserve compensation from a person that never owned a slave?
The fact that this question is coming from a person of color makes this all the more despicable. But since you've shown the world how little you know about history and finances in this country, let me help you out just a little bit. And you don't need a college education to know this, maybe high school at the very least. You ready? The same way that generational wealth can be passed down through generations, generational debt can also be passed down through generations. If the descendants of slave owners who created these multi-billion-dollar financial institutions off of the free, back-breaking, unending 4 centuries, 12 to 16 generations of chattel slavery is still benefiting from that wealth today in 2025, then why shouldn't the descendants of those slaves be able to have the debt paid to them that was never paid to their ancestors? It doesn't matter if the people now didn't own the slaves. What matters is that they are still benefiting from the wealth that was created because of those slaves who were never paid. Do you understand that? This is not rocket science, my friend. It's common sense, and clearly you're showing the world that you're void of it. And I'm not really sure what you're hoping to get out of this, but if you think your pandering, pick-me-ass behavior is going to get those same descendants of that generational wealth to give you a few dollars, then you have truly lost your mind. You will never be picked. You will never be in the situation that black people are in today to be owed that generational debt. Because your ancestors, unless you are the descendants of African slaves, did not survive these horrific atrocities only to never be compensated. Baby, we didn't even get the 40 acres and the mule that was promised to us. But guess who did get paid for the losses that they incurred? I'm just going to go ahead on and tell you, because if you're asking this question, you're never going to be able to figure it out. The slave owners, which provided more wealth that they were able to invest and turn into business, multiply exponentially, and pass down through generations. I hope that helps you.
Hi fam, how are you doing? I hope you're doing amazing. Thank you so much for the love and support. I don't take it for granted. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for the love and support. I appreciate you. If you're watching me for the first time, I'm Carol. Thank you so much for choosing to watch this video. You can also feel free to be part of us by subscribing, turn on notifications, so anytime I upload a new video, you will always be notified. In today's video, we are going to watch and come up with more comments about this guy who is going viral and some other Latinos who feel like this generation of Black Americans, they should not be repatriated. There should not be any form of reparation for them. So if you may wonder what I'm talking about, let's listen to this video till the end, then we can come back with more comments. And kindly let me know what you think about this video in the comment section, and let's have a conversation. Don't also forget to share with your friends if you find this video impactful. Let's watch, then come back with more comments.
Bank of America and much of the U.S. financial system were built on the profits from slavery, using enslaved people as loan collateral and even owning them when debts weren't paid. These same institutions, which grew into billion-dollar corporations from the slavery of our ancestors, continue to uphold systems of institutional racism that today prevent Black people from building generational wealth. The horrors of slavery didn't end with emancipation. They left deep scars that still shape the lives of Black people today. This inherited inherited trauma known as post-traumatic slave syndrome is rooted in generations of violence, ripped apart families, and stolen identity. It continues to affect mental health, family relationships, and the overall well-being of Black people. The U.S. government has paid reparations to Japanese Americans interned during World War II and even Americans held hostage in Iran. Yet the only people paid for slavery were the slave owners for losing their slaves after the Civil War. The victims of slavery were never paid. Our ancestors were stolen and endured some of the most violent atrocities in human history. So white people in this country could build their largely unearned generational wealth that they still sit on today, while Black people have been systemically denied the right to build and pass down the wealth we fought hard to earn for generations. Because every single time we did build, for example, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, the whites burned down the entire town and slaughtered every single Black person that they could find. You stole our ancestors. You stole their labor, which made the U.S. an economic superpower. You stole their futures. You dehumanized, brutalized, and traumatized them. Then that generational trauma was passed down to their descendants, who you continue to traumatize and brutalize with your systems of oppression put into place to limit and prevent us from creating generational wealth. And you refuse to dismantle your systems of oppression because that would be admitting that white prosperity was built on Black suffering. But you still owe for the centuries of unspeakable atrocities, because reparations are not charity. It's an unpaid debt that you owe. Why is the person who owes his entire existence in this country to slavery now speaking against owed reparations? Why is the person who is not Black not minding his own business about the Black issues that don't concern him? This is just another situation where one of these coattail riders who, without slavery, without the existence of Black people in this country, without all of the civil rights victories that Black people spearheaded, shed blood, and lost their lives for, would not be in this country. His ancestors would have never been able to immigrate to the United States if it weren't for the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965. Thanks again to Black Americans, Asian people could immigrate to the U.S., take out small business loans that were denied to Black people, and open up small businesses in Black neighborhoods, where some of those Asian immigrants perpetuated racism onto Black people, even though their American dream was made possible by Black people. You're welcome.
My problem is in entitlement and victims. Don't like that.
The freeloader that I'm responding to says that he was raised in a Black neighborhood. I'm curious if this is the way that he ended up in that Black neighborhood. The model minority myth was created to pit Asians against other marginalized groups, rewarding silence, obedience, and hard work with crumbs of white approval. And this coattail rider is the embodiment of it, exploiting Black struggle while groveling on his knees for validation from the very people who uphold his oppression.
Hey TikTok, so once again, I'm going to go on my little rant about Latinos getting upset with Black people. And again, I just finished my podcast, Friendly Differences. Check it out on YouTube. And I just have to, shake my head, because so many things have transpired during these ICE raids. Latinos are really upset that Black people are not out there. And as one person said, why are you not asking the Muslims, the Asians, the Palestinians? Why are you not asking them? Why are you asking us? And I do take offense that you try to intermingle your pain with ours. We don't have the same pain, y'all. We don't have the same pain. And as somebody on my podcast said, y'all are being deported, taken back across the border. Y'all are being deported. They kill us. And I saw a TikTok the other day of some Latino girl boo-hooing. You don't know what it's like to be taken out of your home and dragged out of your home. You don't know what it's like to do that and be put somewhere and then they take you back across the border. You don't know what it's like. Yeah, really? Y'all getting across the border? They took us to the nearest tree. They took us to the nearest tree. We do know what it's like to be dragged out of your home. Why don't you, talk to Emmett Till? Oh, can't do that because he's dead. Talk to my 2 great uncles. Oh, can't do that. They were lynched. We don't know what it's like. How dare Latinos who are upset with black people because we're not protesting with you. I'm sorry, this thing just pisses me off. That you want to compare your experience with mine. With the black experience. You cannot do that. You have no right to our pain. You have no right to our trauma. You chose to come across the border. We are not immigrants. Black people are not immigrants in this country. We were brought here against our will. We were brought here in chains. And yes, undocumented people have contributed to the American economy, but so have black people. And we did it with our lives, with our blood, with our children's blood. Yes, they did family separations back in 2016. They're probably still doing it now. But our families were separated long before yours were. Long before yours were. We know what it's like to have family separations. Hell, they separated black families just so they can get public housing. The father had to leave the family. So now they dog us saying, oh, these single women, you all don't have fathers. It's all by design. And you want to compare your pain to ours. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you compare your pain to ours? And for those white people who want to speak up and say something, zip it. Don't say anything. Because even if you're as liberal as they come, zip it. You have no say. The only people that I would listen to in terms of comparing pain are Native American indigenous people. But I will not listen to a Latino say that our pain is the same. It is not. You chose to vote for Donald Trump. We're voting for Donald Trump. You had your way of protesting last November. You need to talk to your family members who voted for Trump overwhelmingly in 2016, in 2020, and in 2024. And I'll say it again. Democrats can be just as evil as Trumpers. I'm not going to say Republicans because there is no Republican Party anymore. They're Trumpers. But black folks, again, we know we're collateral damage. We know we're at the bottom of the totem pole. We know that neither party is for us. We know y'all Latinos out there calling us the N-word while you want us to sit up there and protest with you. We know Asians are out there calling us the N-word while they want us to protest with them. We know what people are saying about us. We know how people feel about us. But at least Democrats were pretending to say that, hey, we'll give you a path to citizenship. They've been saying it for forever. And y'all been saying, nope, we gonna vote this way. You consistently vote against your interests. I'm not coming to help you. If you're consistently putting your hand into the fire, I'm not going to be there with the water hose to put the fire out. I'm not going to be there with the bandits, with the bandages and the ointment to soothe your hand because you keep putting your hand in the fire. I'm going to let your house burn. I'm not standing with you. I'm not protesting with you because you're being deported. Talk to the people in your own group who voted for this man, who told you what he was going to do, who had a 900 plus page book called Project 2025, who told you what he was going to do. But don't you dare come and compare your pain to ours. Like I said, they're taking y'all across the border. They're killing us. And they took us to the nearest tree. How dare you? And I'm going to keep saying this. I'm going to keep saying this. And if you don't like it, don't listen. But my pain and my trauma and the pain and trauma of black folks and our ancestors do not mix with yours. Native Americans, I'll protest with you. I'll stand with you. I'll walk with you. All these Native Americans who, especially women who are disappearing mysteriously, yeah, I got my own little thing about that too. All by design. But Latinos, I'm not standing with you. Not on this. I'm sitting it out. We need a rest, black folks do. For me, you're on your own. Until next time, peace.
Oh my God, what do we say about this guy? So he really feels like there should be no any form of compensation for these Black Americans generations, because he's saying that they were not slaves. Why are they being compensated for? What are they being compensated for? And they were not the slaves. So it's also sad to this guy because I think he doesn't know the history. He really, really doesn't know the history. Even for him to be called a Latino, it's from down there. You see, it's a generation. It's a generation of a generation of a generation for him to be a Latino, for you to be a Mexican, for you to be an African. It's all about the generationals, you know. So for him to say that, it means that he doesn't know anything about history. As we all know, the slavery thing started in the 16th centuries and 17th centuries when Africans they were enslaved to North America, you know, like the ones in Jamaica, Haiti, where Barbados, all those countries. So guys, it has really, really been a tough journey for Black Americans, or let's say for Africans. Just imagine, because they used to come, they take away a husband, a man of the family. Imagine the situations that is left behind, yeah, for the mother with the kids. And we know those days these people use our great parents used to have like a bigger family, maybe even 15 kids, 20 kids. I've never heard of 20, but I know a lot of them used to have big families. So you can imagine your dad is taken away and your mom is left with you guys. So it has really, really been hard for Black Americans. They endured all this. They were enslaved, everything. Even for these leaders in America, they know. They said, even Trump himself said, Africans or Black Americans are the ones who build this America. So they have to respect that. And for Latinos, I think it's not time for them to complain. Latinos, you don't have to complain for this. Do you remember those times of Black Lives Matters? These guys, they were never out. They were never out to come and support Black Americans, and they separated themselves. Some said, we ain't Black, we are not Black. In such a situation, what will you do? And right now, you're coming out to say that you feel like they should not be compensated for that. This is a generational thing. Why are they not supposed to be compensated? Why do you feel that they are not supposed to be compensated? And it's a generational thing. The trauma, you can imagine the trauma that is still over there, the racism, and these things, they are still happening up to today, guys. Those things are still over there. Even the farmers, you can see the farmers who have been complaining, yeah? There's just this video that I did where people were asking, why aren't Black farmers coming out to speak because of the thing that is happening in Nebraska, in Texas, where farmers are complaining that they don't have farmers, they are getting losses, they are going bankrupt. So people are asking, where are the Black community farmers? Why aren't they speaking? So they came out and they said, we are used to this because they have never been favored. The system is just built never to favor them, and they are used to it. They are used to depend on themselves. Even you can see the number really decreased. Since 1920, we hit like 14% of Black farmers, but right now we have 1.2%. So you can imagine the struggles that these people really go through. So until you are out here to say that they should never be compensated, you must be lying big, or you are lying to yourselves and to yourself. And do you know why this thing is over there? And we know that this fight has not started like today. The Black Americans and the Latinos, the fight has not started today. The fight has been there for the longest time, and it is just a thing that is just repeating itself, so that this time this thing has affected them so bad. They feel the pain of being deported. They feel the pain. They know that pain, and they have to be told that for Black Americans, they are not immigrants. They have to know that. For those ones who don't know that, they have to know that Black Americans are not immigrants. These are people who were separated from their families forcefully. Your parents be taken away. Hey, it's so bad. It was really bad. I know they believed in Black man energy, but that was so bad. That was so bad. So for them, for them at least, they are immigrants, just crossed the border. They came in, and like right now, when they are being deported, they feel the pain. You can imagine the pain of a Black man being separated from his own family because they targeted the men. You can imagine that pain. You can imagine the pain of the mother who was left with the kids at home. Then you want to say that these people should not be compensated? Oh my God, that's a very big lie. You are lying to yourself. You have to learn history, and you have to say sorry for that. Yeah, what do you think, guys? What do you think? Do you think that since the pain has affected them right now they feel like, I know that thing has been there between the Black Americans and the Latinos. The racism, guys, has been there. The Blacks in America have really gone through a lot handling racism. When you want to do like farming, the system is not favoring you. Whatever thing that we want to do, it's also hard for you. even your lives. Then they came out, they demonstrated about Black Matters, Life Matters. And that's why most of them are in America, the Latinos, the Q, all of them. That's why they are in America, because blacks are the ones who fought for that, for the equality. Without that, they could not be there, or they could still be feeling the pain that was there. At least right now, they have to say thank you to this. There's a lady that I saw on TikTok, and he's a Mexican. He was saying that if there's anyone that Latinos should associate themselves with, it should be Black Americans. But why the hatred? Because the Black Americans are the only people who can help them. I know they never came out to help you during the demonstrations when you are being deported, because you never came out for them. You have never ever came out for Black Americans. You have always disassociated yourselves from them. Yeah, you mostly say no, these aren't our people. You have played racism cards, and right now these things are very, very tough for you. You feel like, no, this is not what we voted for. We voted for blacks to suffer. We voted for blacks to be deported. And right now you have realized that nothing is working, and Black Americans, they are so cool. Nothing is happening to them. They are not being deported. Like everything for them is still working on, and the pain is now on you. You are being separated with your families. These things have happened to blacks long time ago. So guys, let me also know what you think about this video in the comment section, and let's have a conversation. Do you feel like blacks or Black Americans should be compensated for that, or do you feel like they should not because they were not the slaves, So yeah, my lights just went off. So what do you think? Kindly let me know in the comment section, and let's have a conversation. Bye. I'll see you in the next one.